Whoops, got to turn on my light. Hey, everybody, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. All right, so we're trying the RTMP stream with Rumble here. Already running into problems such as literally all the information I put in did not save, even though I'm positive I hit save. So had to manually go in there and fix everything. Annoying as hell. Once again, uh, thumbnail. Had to manually upload thumbnail on YouTube. So that's annoying. Definitely latency over on Rumble. We're on YouTube, Rumble, and X right now. So hope everyone's having a good, what day is it? Thursday. This whole week has sucked ass for me. Not gonna lie. And uh already a tad bit disappointed Rumble Studio with this direct RTMP stream because I thought we could. Oh, that means I have to clips I had saved over on Rumble Studios. I thought we could exit, but apparently we can't. So I can't bring up funny stuff. That's retarded. I should have just done it regularly. But in any case, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Show that talks pop culture. Our minds sharpen up the date of what we love about pop culture, but we also take a look at what's good, what's bad, what's ugly about everything, all with the goal of hopefully reminding folks that we can enjoy entertainment for entertainment's sake, even though there's a bunch of garbage infesting it and being shoved in there. But I think we're definitely seeing a lot of pushback and a lot of weeding out. So that's always good. But we can always rely on that nostalgia if we ever want to look at good stuff, since a lot of modern stuff is garbage. But if you enjoy the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. As you guys can see, I actually have up to date here. I've got some widgets going here. I've been wanting to really try to push up the Rumble subscriptions and YouTube memberships. So, because if we were in Rumble Studios and I just did an ingress, I could have been playing some clips for you guys, some funny clips. But since I'm trying this out and just lost track of time, don't don't really have anything lined up, which sucks. That's annoying as hell. Don't get I don't understand why you can't access. Well, I guess yeah, I guess I do understand. Never mind. Apparently, wasn't thinking true. But anyway, we shall persevere. But we have some articles pulled up here that I want to share with you guys. Kind of give you guys my thoughts about it. These would be first time impressions. I did not like screen these or anything. So what you would get is 100% your reaction from me. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, big one is being, if anybody doesn't know, we got Kirsche. Kirsche had a hit piece made about her. She's a VTuber, and some weirdo from Vice just going ham trying to get her canceled from what is it, Gamer Supplements, GG Supplements, I think is what it's called. But we'll read about it. But yeah, what a bitch. And just goes to show that when you try to cancel somebody just because you're a scummy douchebag, it usually blows up in your face. And Vice took down all the hit pieces, which is amazing. So I'd say good job, Vice, for taking them down for being proven wrong, but you should never have had them up in the first place, and that weirdo shouldn't even have been part of your service because you guys are a bunch of fags. So get wrecked, nerds. So we'll read about that. And Ubisoft stock is crashing. And I believe I read somewhere as well that Uh, Assassin's Creed Shadows apparently did not sell as much as what they tried to lead people to believe. So I love it. Ubisoft, the circus tent that is over there, can crash and burn significantly down to the fucking ground. So let's hop into it, shall we? Oops. Well, just goes to show on how professional I am about this. Didn't even get that situated. Nothing but pure professionalism here on the show. That's why I'm the number one retro gaming channel out there. All the more reason for you to like and subscribe and to check out the memberships and the subscription tiers. Because who doesn't love terrible boomerang? Oh my gosh, awful. Pure awfulness. Let's get into this, shall we? So, coming over here to Video Game Chronicle here, I saw this, and this is insane. Hideo Kojima says he's left a staff, his personal assistant, a USB stick of game ideas for after he dies. As the Metal Gear creator says he wants Kojima Production to continue creating original games after his death. Hmm, that is insane. So he's apparently reevaluated his priorities since turning 60 and becoming severely ill during the pandemic. Has even left a will containing game ideas for staff to use after his death. He turned 16 during the production of Death Stranding 2, but the game designer told Edge magazine in its latest issue that any illness he suffered during the pandemic was what most inspired him to seriously consider what to do with his remaining years. Now, keep in mind, he's Japanese. These guys live forever. It's insane on how they just live for a long ass time. So I don't know. Part of me wonders if he can actually if he's doesn't really need to worry about it because I've seen them. I've seen them live for a long time. But yeah, he did get severely ill. I remember reading about that during the pandemic. So it also stirred the game's ulterior. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that word right, but we're going with it to consider the future of his studio, he said, which is why he's decided to take on numerous projects, such as the Sony action espionage game Fizzant, Xbox backed OD, and the upcoming Death Stranding sequel. Turning 60 was less of a turning point in my life than my experiences during the pandemic, he told Edge. I fell seriously ill at the time and also had an eye operation. Till then, I didn't think I was old, you know? I just didn't feel my age, and I assumed I would be able to create for as long as I live. I feel the same way, even though reality has shown me that, we all get old. But then I became sick and I couldn't create anything, and I saw lots of people around me passing away at the time. I was confronted with death. Of course, I recovered, but now I was thinking, wait, how many years do I have left to make game or a film? Perhaps I have 10 years? Jima said he since reevaluated his priorities for how he should spend his remaining years. He said he had considered directing a film, but directors Del Toro and Nicholas Winding Refn, who both appear in Death Stranding, advised him to stick to video games. Guillermo del Toro. They're like, yeah, just stick to games. During his illness in the pandemic, Kojima said he realized a lot of fans wanted him to make something like Metal Gear, which is why he decided to create the espionage game Fizzant with Sony. This is like the first time I've heard of this one. Kojima said he believes spending his remaining years creating a variety of projects will help better secure the future for Kojima Productions beyond his lifespan, which is something he is increasingly thinking about. I gave a USB stick with all my ideas on it to my personal assistant, kind of like a will, he said. Perhaps they could continue to make things after I'm gone at Kojima Production. This is a fear for me. What happens to Kojima Productions after I'm gone? I don't want them just managing our existing IP. Latest issue of Edge is out now, both physically and digitally, and blah, 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 blah. And then apparently Video Game Chronicles went out to Japan and did an extensive Death Stranding 2 preview. Well, there you go. That brush of death woke him up, and he had to put all his will upon a USB stick. Almost makes me think of that South Park, the Sword of a Thousand Truths, the fake World Not Warcraft. So I thought it was pretty funny. That particular show, not this. Everyone has that time where they realize like, whoa, yeah, I could die at any minute, sort of thing. I love how he wanted to make a film, and both uh, Guillermo del Toro and Nicholas Winding Friend were both like, "Nah, just stick to video games." I don't. Interesting to know how that conversation went. Because what if he was like really passionate, and they're just like, "No, no, no." That'd be pretty funny. So I do want to get Stellar Blade for the PC. And I guess it's been announced that the PC bonus content will be added to PS5 for free. Shift Up confirms. And that would be a new boss battle and 25 new costumes are being added to Stellar Blade on the PS5 and PC. Sony has officially announced the PC version of Stellar Blade, have they, following an earlier leak? Oh, there you go. And confirmed that its additional content will be gifted to PS5 players. It'll be released on June 11th, including 25 new costumes, a new boss battle, support for DLSS and FSR, high resolution textures, ultra wide support, and more. In the PC version's official announcement on Thursday, Shift Up confirmed that PS5 players will receive some of this additional content via a free update. The game's new boss battle is Man, the leader of the Sentinels. He's a seasoned warrior, a master of weapons, the bodyguard of Orkel, the guardian of Zion, Shift Up says. Faces might in the boss challenge and prove why Eve is truly worthy. After the update, players will be able to collect a total of 25 new nanosuit additional rewards. Thank you once again to all Stellar Blade fans for your unwavering support and love over the past year, Shift Up said. We also extend our gratitude to everyone waiting for the PC version. Stellar Blade has come this far thanks to your passion as its driving force. We look forward to even more players joining Eve's journey. Starting June 11th, I have a link here probably towards the trailer, but surprised this isn't a clickable link. But anyway, speaking during an earnings Q&A earlier this year, Shift Up says it expects Stellar Blade to sell more PCs than it did on PlayStation 5. In the AAA game market, PC devices have a higher market share than consoles, so we expect the performance of the PC versions to exceed that of the console versions, the company said. We are particularly observing trends such as the significant expansion of the single player action game market in the Asian gaming industry. What's up, Loki? Loki says Stellar Blade is great. Yeah, I need to play it. Sounds right up my alley. I do enjoy me hack and slashers. We have identified and analyzed both success and underperforming cases of console exclusive released on PC. And we are preparing to release the game in a way that ensures continued success in the PC. So, there you go. Yes, Stellar Babe, it says Komanga. You know it, baby. You know it. I'm just looking over because I'm using the direct RTPM stream thing that Rumble Studios just released. I mean, it looks pretty solid. Quality looks pretty good. I'm disappointed because I should have figured that I couldn't use play my clips that I have saved in Rumble Studios since doing this way uh, means I'm going through OBS. Now there are ways that you can play clips and stuff like that, but I haven't set it up yet. And also, it felt like I saved all the information, and then when I went live, it didn't remember it, so I had to manually change everything. So those are my critiques right now for Rumble's direct RTPM links.
So we got a Fandom Pulse article here. Says Sony suggests it could move PlayStation manufacturing to the United States in response to President Trump's tariffs. Now that would be absolutely amazing. My only thing is don't make it in California because California hates video games. Put it somewhere else. Put it down here in Texas. That would be amazing. Or put it anywhere where a bunch of libtards are not located. Sony CEO and President Hiroki Toyoki. Oh my gosh, Todoki. Hiroki Todoki. That rhymes. I don't know why. I just like that. Signaled that the company might move PlayStation manufacturing to the United States in response to President Donald Trump's tariffs. During the company's most recent earning calls, Totoki was asked if the company had plans to move manufacturing to the United States. According to the Sony's English translator, he responded, yes, producing manufacturing locally rather than saying for the entertainment segment. I want to look at it from the hardware segment and the software segment. In entertainment, gaming like consoles, these hardwares, of course, could be produced locally. Well, they should be. I think that would be an efficient strategy. Yes. But PlayStation 5 are being manufactured in many areas. Who cares? This doesn't make, like, I don't get it. Like, so what? Just the more you could produce it, theoretically, the more you could sell. And then everyone's so ass mad about the tariffs, making it locally like would benefit everybody. Whether it is going to be manufactured in the US or not needs to be considered going forward. We are not in such a critical situation. Part of the same answer, he also addressed President Trump's recent announcement that he would tariff film produced outside of the United States by 100%. The entertainment segment, especially content creation, recently in the movies, Mr. Trump is saying that he's going to have 100% tariffs on films which are not produced, made in the United States. That was announced. But that is still pending, apparently, so there are some of the movements we need to consider. Regarding entertainment, if you take films, pictures, for example, of course, locations are being made in various areas, and it is all put together as a story, and there are pictures that are filmed outside of the US because the Hollywood cost has gone up, skyrocketed. So it's not so much a US problem, but rather it's an issue specific to the state of California. See, he's not retarded. Yeah. All the more reason why to get out of California. Get out of California. Why would you stay there? They've ruined Hollywood. They took over it. Now it's just a blood orgy for the debauchery and the bastardization of films. So, as far as contents, we don't know how it will evolve, but we are paying close attention to the trends. He concluded, Karate Kid Legends, with Totoki indicating that it might move PlayStation manufacturing to the United States in response to the tariffs. In the short term, Sony Chief Financial Officer Lin Tao suggested that it would increase the price of its PlayStation 5s. Yeah, let's see how that works, Cotton. He said, we may pass on to the price and also shipment allocation. So we are taking different measures and managing to come up to 100 billion yen impact. What do you make of Totoki and Tao's comments? Totoki sounds like he's more than reasonable to possibly make it locally. Tao's retarded. If their answer to this is, "Oh, we'll just increase the console prices." We have another article, by the way, pulled up that uh, Nintendo might have actually admitted that the high price might affect the sales. I still think it's gonna, like, obviously do very well, but, a lot of people being mad about the high price starting to, resonate. Now, I still want Nintendo to suffer severely in terms of their attitude towards, suing people left and right. I really, really would like Pal World to own them and knock them down a peg, to have them shut the hell up and, stop being retarded in terms of trying to weasel a copyright patent, which was like after the fact of Pal World being made, which still baffles me. I don't see how you can just make a patent after something's already been made and then claim that they stole. Doesn't make sense to me. But as we all know, Japanese copyright is way different and rather retarded.
A lot of people aren't happy about that. So, if anybody of a Resident Evil fan, apparently, according to Tech for Gamers here, Resident Evil 9 100% to be revealed this year with a release set for 2026 confirms an insider. So Capcom has been on a roll with the Resident Evil franchise over the past few years. I wouldn't say a roll. I think they knocked it out of the ballpark with 2 for sure. People were definitely mad at 3 on how short it was, and they were charging for pretty much a full game. And then you got your Resident Evil 4, which is cool, but like how many times? And then, you know, people are making fun of, are they even going to are they even going to attempt to make a remake of 5 because of the controversy and all that garbage? Now you got Resident Evil 9 here. So the next mainline entry is officially in development, and an official reveal is expected anytime now. Are they actually going to go back to zombies? That'd be nice. Reliable insiders added fuel to the anticipation surrounding Resident Evil 9, claiming that the official reveal is 100% happening this year, with the release planned for 2026. Now you may ask yourself why it matters. Following the success of the Resident Evil 4 remake, fan expectations for the next installment are sky high. Resident Evil 9 is shaping up to be the most anticipated entry in the series. Capcom hasn't disappointed so far. So, Dusk Golem up here is a well known and trusted insider, expects Capcom to officially announce 9 at either the upcoming Summer Game Fest or the TGA later this year. The exact release window isn't confirmed, but it could either launch in the first half of 2026, in the current fiscal year, or in the second half of 2020. I'm tired of Resident Evil 9. Just let them make the game already, and so many fake leaks for content. Resident Evil 5 is great. They are dumb about that game. I enjoyed Resident Evil 5. With GTA 6 expected for May 2026, which I don't think they can wait. Oh, 2026. I was like, we're in May already. What like no. Publishers will avoid directly competing with the title. As such, Resident Evil 9 will probably drop within the second half of 2026 unless Capcom is a way ahead in development. The insider also mentioned that the team had internally delayed Resident Evil 9, deciding the game needed more time in development. 9 is the most ambitious entry in the franchises and will mark a 3-year gap since the last release, making it the longest hiatus since the series reveal in 2017. Really? That's how long they announced Resident Evil 9? Hiatus is likely due to the fact that Resident Evil 9 will reinvent the series much like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 7 did. Furthermore, Leon Kennedy will also return as the protagonist. Enough with Kennedy. Why not do something else? But there you go. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So here's just a small taste of Ubisoft sucking and burning. They put delays on major games, but says Prince of Persia remake is finally on track. Now, I'm not holding my breath on the Prince of Persia remake because they're probably going to super bastardize it. But let's see what this has to. This also comes from Video Game Chronicle. Ubisoft points to Assassin's Creed Shadow's success as it delays biggest project. Oh, that game was not successful. Oh. So, sharing the news in its latest earning release, the publisher pointed to its decision to delay Assassin's Creed Shadows late last year and its subsequent successful release and positive reception early this year. Oh my gosh. Look at them really trying to state that that game was actually successful. Oops. Though Ubisoft did not specify which games were delayed, its statement strongly suggests that the titles in its biggest franchise, such as Creed, Far Cry, Ghost Recon, and Rainbow Six. Leon Kennedy for president.
After a thorough review of its pipeline that took place from October to December, the group decided to provide additional development time to some of its biggest productions in order to create the best conditions for success, Ubisoft said. I don't think Ubisoft understands what success means. This decision has already been beneficial to the quality of Assassin's Creed Shadow. As a consequence, uh, fiscal year 2026-27 is I'm assuming what that means. In 27-28, we'll see significant growth versus 2025 and 2026 on the back of strong content coming from the largest brands. Ubisoft also confirmed in its earning documents that the long-delayed Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake will release during its current business year, ends March. Got the game's trailer, which was released last summer, announced a 2026 date, which implies the remake will arrive early next year. Earlier this year, Ubisoft announced its plan to form a subsidiary which will focus on its main three IPs and be partly owned by Tencent. Oh, that doesn't sound like success from Assassin's Creed Shadows. I thought Assassin's Creed Shadows would save Ubi. They wouldn't have to resort to a subsidiary, be partly owned by Tencent. Oops. The new subsidiary will be based on Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six brand, and will be backed by greater investment and boosted creative capabilities in an attempt to push each series forward. Series, not series. Series. Subsidiary. Oh my gosh, I can't say that word. Subsidiary. There you go. Has been valued at around 4 billion euros, I'm assuming. And Tencent will be investing 1.16 billion to gain a majority stake of around 25% in it. Tencent, no, don't waste your money on a burning ship, on a burning circus tent. Get out of there quick. In its latest earnings release, Ubisoft said the subsidiary intends to improve the quality of narrative-driven solo experiences. Again, this doesn't sound like Assassin's Creed Shadows did an awesome job, let alone Star Wars Outlaws. Expand live service offerings with richer features and more frequent updates. Oh man, if only you had that for again Assassin's Creed. They had some major glitches in there, but more importantly, that Outlaw and scale into underutilized markets such as mobile and China. The bold move, Ubisoft. Let's see how it works out for you. Bold move, Cotton. Bold move. The Fandom Wire offer also covered this as well. Let's see what this article has to state here. But once upon a time, a young prince parkoured his way into our hearts, becoming a gaming legend. He vaulted over spikes, rewinding time and charming players with every leap. But like the sand slipping through an hourglass, his adventures faded into memory. Years passed, sequels stalled. Now, against all odds, the Prince of Persia is back. After an uncertain road, Ubisoft has confirmed that the Sands of Time remake is happening. And it's not just returning, it's being completely rebuilt. For longtime fans but all but given up hope, the revival of this beloved classic feels like a miracle. I think most people now would probably just want it to stay where it is. If anything, remaster it without bastardizing anything and just make it available on modern console. I think people would be fine. They need to make good games other than Assassin's Creed. What's up, Captain Falcon? Enough of the remakes. I know. Again, this is to me. This is showcasing on how unoriginal the modern gaming AAA studios are. They can't think of anything new, and anything that is new is like your Neil Kuckerman's retarded intergalactic thing where he hates women and has to defeminize them and make them as bland as possible. And but yet tell the same old trope, whether that's LGBTQ or bash on Christianity. Judaism's fine, Christianity's not good. Saying he's played the originals. Yes, actually. Oh, they don't even have a pin feature.
to like pin up the chats with the RTMP setup. I'd have to set up Ninja Social. Well, that sucks. Well, I'll give my thoughts about it. I might make a X post. But any case, anyway, where was I? After a rocky start, the remake has been completely reworked and rebuilt from the ground up to honor the original. X to doubt on that one. While okay, it's already defeated. Modernizing gameplay, visuals, and storytelling. Look, you're talking about just making the graphics look a lot nicer. I can understand using the word modernizing. Same with visuals. And I think I said graphics for gameplay, but you understand. However, modernizing and storytelling should not be in the same sentence. Though many details remain under wraps, Ubisoft's renewed effort promises a worthy successor to the beloved 2003 classic. Well, they're going to fail miserably. Ubisoft has confirmed that the remake is now targeted for April of 2026, internal targets pointing towards a window between January and March. And then we literally just read in the past post about the full year 2024-25 revised launch time was included. The recent earnings reports. While delays are always a possibility, the studio's emphasis on quality after the disastrous past a few years. Well, if by few years you mean like 10, sure. I'm just throwing out an arbitrary number there. The point is that they've been sucking major ass. Suggested it is willing to take the time needed to polish the experience rather than rush it to market as it did with Assassin's Creed Shadow. See, this is a new site of information that I found covering pop culture fandom wire. Fandom wire. You can clearly some like I can see a neutral side of this, maybe a little lenient on the left, but that's all right. It's good to hear both sides of the story. Now, what I really should do is really hop on, Kotaku and Vice and Rolling Stones and all that stuff just to see how asinine the articles are. That'd be pretty funny. Problem is people are too sensitive now and talk crap about every game which they don't play. Just put what you want in the game, screws what they think and say. That is how it was back then and now needs to do, says Loki over on YouTube. I think it's a purpose. It's definitely a planned organization to remove everything, to try to trick consumers into thinking that their version is the superior origin, the primordial soup of said franchise, when you just look back a little bit further and you realize that these people had nothing to do with anything. Anyway, the release window provides fan with a clearer timeline after years of uncertainty. What kind of game is the Sands of Time remake? What's up, Wolf's Friend 42? People these days are too weak minded. Indeed, very much so. Uh, I also do think that the graphics overhaul has gotten to the point where it's actually hindering games. I don't care how realistic it looks. I agree with a friend of mine, Ryan. Ryan is trying over on X here. He worked a little bit with he worked on a video game, I believe, or worked with a company that did like a game. And he made a very good point. He talked about how like this push to make everything as super highly realistic as possible eventually hurts games, because with getting down to the very minute detail of certain things can cause the game to get slower, take up more space and stuff, and ultimately defeats the purpose of a video game. There needs to be a nice balance to where you don't need 200 gigabytes of space to play a game. Like, I don't like, and it was based on the post of someone pointing out of like, "Oh my gosh, you could see the fizziness and the bubbling inside the beer of Grand Theft Auto 6. This is gonna be amazing." It's like, dude, who gives a shit? Like, who cares? I don't. Like, did we really need to see that? No, we don't.
The more than humanity uses AI, the less able it will be able to think for itself. Mm, I can see that. We still need an off switch. We've seen enough of Terminator. We know what we need to do. Although I do think AI is going to play a big part in the coming end times that are taking place. But in any case, so Assassin's Creed, Sand of Times remake. So at its core, the remake is a modern reimagining of the beloved 2003 action adventure classic. Again, the word modern and reimagining should not be in the same sentence involving with the word remake. In any case, stays true to the original's acrobatic platform and time manipulating mechanics while updating gameplay systems for today's player. Well, that's nice and everything. Are you going to keep the story intact? That's my biggest issue. Notably, combat has been overhauled to feel more fluid and engaging, drawing inspiration from recent action titles to enhance enemy encounter. I should just read all these from now so I don't slur. Iconic moves like the Volt Strike and Sand Draining Dagger attacks will remain. The goal is to keep fights fast, dynamic, and satisfying without losing the graceful rhythm fans remember. A lot of people didn't like The Warrior Within. I actually played the crap out of that game. I 100% completed that game. I got all the secrets, all the hidden weapons, and the actual good ending. I really enjoyed that game. I enjoyed the series too. That should be a game I should uh play again. That should be a series I should play when I game stream. Again, that would probably be very good if I do a series, maybe like Power Up PlayStation, where I just specifically play PlayStation based games. Although I was kind of contemplating doing that, and I kind of wanted to play the 2000 Spider Man game, although that was released like for Sega Dreamcast and for the PC version as well. And the Dreamcast version actually looks really smooth. So it wouldn't be the PlayStation version because also my goal would be to get the game as good looking as possible, and whether that's through mods or like playing the better version, I would. Kids are graduating high school and are unable to read or do basic math because they depend on AI text to speech math apps, basic math. Well, so far my nieces are doing pretty well because I don't think they are relying on AI. But that's crazy if they're actually just giving AI text to. I can see the pros and cons, but yeah, I don't think that definitely should not be like the way to teach them. Like they got to think for themselves. Anyway, so who's developing the remake, the Rainbow Six Siege connection? The development of the Sands of Time remake is led by Ubisoft Montreal. Fuck. The same studio behind the original 2003 game. Well, I mean, I guarantee you a lot of the people that were in the Ubisoft Montreal are not there anymore. That's I don't care if it's done. See, this is another thing that I think is disingenuous is they say it's the same studio behind the original 2003 game. I don't care if it's the same studio. It's the people who made it that were at the studio at the time that made the game what it is. If you didn't get the original people there, that's one thing. And if you did get the original people and they're weak-minded and they cave to the progressive, you know, hive mind, then that's another thing as well. The live series game Rainbow Six Siege. Their experience managing a complex, ongoing multiplayer game and consistently delivering seasonal updates offers hope that the remake will benefit from a polished, player-focused approach. Given that the studios also developed the original 2003's title, fans are expecting that the remake will ensure a high quality remake that respects the original while innovating where it counts, like visuals, quality of life feature. That again, who cares if it's from the original studio? If the people aren't a part of the studio anymore, you know,
then it doesn't matter. Wait, what is I just got an error over on YouTube. Please use a key please use a keyframe frequency of 4. Oh, dude, we doing all right over on YouTube? Looks like it's all right. Drop anything? We dropped 48 frames using direct feature. It's still in beta, but not happy with how this is going right away. I should have just stuck with what I normally use. Ugh. Although I have to remember, like my software is quite old. I need a better camera, but I'm broke. Anyway, pre-order information currently unavailable. They haven't announced anything yet. Window's been narrowed down. We'll get more information soon rather than later. And it'll be available on the PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC, including Steam at launch. What about GOG? I want to get it on GOG because I can actually own my games when I go through that way. Given a visual overhaul and gameplay overhaul being done, a launch on last gen consoles like PS4 and Xbox One seems unlikely. And then Ubisoft has not released any official trailers or gameplay footage for the remake. However, it posted one unlisted trailer last year showing a candle reigniting in front of a window, symbolizing the return of the franchise's iconic time mechanics. Core narrative of the Sands of Times remains intact. Okay, now they're just padding this article with like explaining what the original game is like. Oh no. The core narrative of the Sands of Time remains intact. The prince accidentally unleashes the cursed Sands of Time, turning his kingdom into chaos, and must race against time to fix his mistake. The remake, however, takes a fresh approach by embracing cultural authenticity and includes recasting the prince with a Persian actor to better reflect the game's modern Eastern roots. Then you're not staying to the original. Gosh, fuck these assholes. Additionally, the remake will add more depth into fair, of course, because you got to increase that woman power. Has this been confirmed? Has this actually been confirmed? Where are they getting this information that like this is for sure happening? Making her a more active, fleshed out companion rather than just a narrative device. Then you are not respecting the original source if you're literally changing the aspect of the story. This will add a new layer of depth and respect to the story. No, dude, how can you say respect to the story when you straight up said, "Oh yeah, we need to get a Persian actor to reflect it." And then, "Oh yeah, the girl, yeah, she needs to be involved more." Are you kidding me? You kids have awesome graphics and games, yet are always complaining about how bad they are. Shake my head. Not sure what you're talking about there. I'm complaining that we don't need all this realistic stuff. They don't know what they want till they get it. Wolf. Uh, this will add a new layer of depth and respect to the story. The most notable change is likely to be the change of voice actor. Yuri Lowenthal, the original voice of Prince, will not be returned. Then it's not the same game. Then you just bastardize it. So this game is dead on arrival, exactly like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, because that did so fucking well, right? The remake is reportedly being built using Unreal Engine 5, which provides a robust foundation for next gen visual, whatever. Ubisoft aims to deliver a seamless and immersive experience, improving on the original's mechanisms with modern physics and AI systems. The result should be a game that looks and feels contemporary while preserving the magic of the original adventure. Well, you're not preserving the magic of the original adventures because Yuri Lowenthal's voice acting, um, leaving the prince as the prince that we know and not giving a shit about if he's Persian or not, and then leaving Farah's Farah's part in the story as is. Oh my god. Great. A Snow White crab again change story. They just don't learn. Still have no clue what game you're talking about. Prince of Persia. Prince of Persia trilogy back for the PlayStation 2. Everyone loved the Sands of Times. Everyone likes the trilogy. They're bringing it back. Oh my gosh. This is so stupid. Following the critical and commercial success of Prince of Persia. Again, I read a little bit about it, but it still didn't really do that well. Like it sold maybe enough for a little bit, but then it just tickered down. Ubisoft has indicated that the franchise is far from finished. While the Sands of Time remake is the most profile upcoming title, there are hints of additional projects in development. That includes Anno 117, Pax Romana, and others. That's pretty much the end of the article. Well, that made me salty. And unfortunately, I don't have any video clips lined up to play. Game is great, but did play it. Oh my gosh. I hate everything. So, if we jump now over to Tech for Gamers, switching consoles to the Switch. Apparently, Nintendo president finally admits that the Switch wasn't powerful. Womp womp. For the last 2 or 3 years, fans have been looking forward to the Switch 2. Come 2025, the handheld is finally reality, offers substantial power upgrade over its predecessor, just like the fans wanted. And now Nintendo president has admitted that the Switch wasn't powerful enough and the hardware isn't capable of handling modern games, so a successor necessary. Did I actually catch that? At like I did. Most modern releases have had performance issues on the Switch. Even in Pocket Pair, Palworld developers stated that the handheld's outdated software is a major issue for most ports. Furukawa, during an investor Q&A, was asked the reason behind the Switch 2 not getting a major overhaul from its predecessor. Furukawa said it's mainly because the Switch wasn't powerful enough for current gen games. We believe that Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza offer new gameplay experience that could not be utilized or cannot be realized on the Switch 1. He said they didn't want to go too overboard. However, they still wanted to develop games with enhanced processing capabilities, like the games we read above, which simply wasn't possible without the upgraded console. So he further reassured that going forward, Nintendo will launch games offering brand new gameplay experiences, which are possible due to the Switch 2's power. Even games like Elden Ring has been announced for the console too. Despite this, the Switch 2 has been a part of many debates. First of all, its pricing, which has been highly uncertain due to the tariffs. It also became the first company to introduce a gaming price of $80 MSRP. Yeah, so remember when they talked about of like, hey, you can still play the Switch 1? Well, chances are they're going to be making all the cool games to where it can't even be played on the Switch 1. So you're pretty much screwed until it comes out to PC or whatever. Switch 2 runs at 50% unless it's docked. Yeah, I'm not getting the Switch 2 anytime. So, coming from that Park Place, so remember on how, Switch 2 was, Nintendo's all like, oh, we took the tariffs in price, and you know what? People, who cares about the high price tag? People get it. Well, forecast falls flat as Nintendo admits a high price tag could hurt sales. Now, don't get me wrong. I guarantee you this is going to be the hottest selling console, of course, compared to like the PS5 and like whatever other. I don't even. What have we got in Series XS or something? I don't even know anymore about Microsoft because no one gives a shit. Nintendo may be worried about Switch 2 sales numbers. The Japanese video game company is signaling a more cautious outlook for its next console generation. In a newly published translation of its end-of-year financial Q&A, where we just got the information to the other one, the direct president Shintaro Furukawa directly addressed why the company has set a 15 million unit sales target for the Nintendo Switch 2's first fiscal year, a figure that had raised eyebrows among investors and fans alike. So, despite high pre-order interest in the US and Japan, along with the global anticipation for the successor of the Switch, Nintendo's forecast is only marginally higher than the original Switch's 2017 launch. Furukawa didn't shy away from this reason: price. The Switch 2 is priced relatively high compared to Nintendo Switch, so we recognize that there are corresponding challenges to early adoption. He admitted. While the company aims to replicate the success of the original Switch launch, Nintendo appears aware that the high price tag may pose a barrier to casual gamers and budget conscious families, a demographic that was key to the original system's runaway success. Yep. And to counteract this, Nintendo is bundling key titles like Mario Kart World with the console and emphasizing continuity through backwards compatibility, even though we literally just read that apparently the new games that will be on the Switch 2 won't be able to be played on the Switch, or it's going to be low powered. Switch 2 can play compatible Nintendo Switch software, so there's continuity between the platforms. Well, I mean, going forward, but not backwards. Clearly trying to reassure both players and investors that the leap between generations won't leave anyone behind, except the people who don't want to buy a Switch 2. Then they're left behind. And you best hope that it's not a Nintendo exclusive, which, let's be real, the company that has had the most successful games to actually go for their catalog, unlike Sony and all that stuff, is the Switch, Nintendo. Still, Furukawa warned that sustaining momentum will be the biggest challenge. Even if there's a momentum around launch, we know it will not be easy to keep that momentum going over the long term through the holiday season and beyond, he said. This acknowledgement hints at eternal concerns about long term demand, especially if the initial surge from hardcore fans and earlier adopters tapers off before the holiday shopping boom. In a gaming market crowded with powerful alternatives and shifting consumer habits, Nintendo may need more than a strong branding and legacy software support to maintain interest. Indeed, I am curious to think if they truly believe that Nintendo fans will be enough to justify the price hike. I do think it would taper off because the people who are going to get it regardless are going to get it. But then, of course, like the article points about, the budget people, especially when they're like, "Oh, you can get it on the Switch 1 as well." They're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, that's cheaper. Just give me that one." Company also clarified that the forecast wasn't based on any external production issues or geopolitical factor like tariffs. In order to receive sales of 50 million units, we need to manufacture the hardware in quantities greater than that. Noted. We are working to strengthen our production capacity so we can respond flexibly. Man, interesting on how that Park Place points out the fact, or is showcasing that, they're claiming that pretty much the tariffs or political issues or whatever is not, all of this wasn't based on that. And yet other companies or other articles are like, "Oh, it is the tariffs." Furukawa also responded to critiques that Switch 2 lacks innovation, suggesting that while the new system may appear similar to its predecessor, it has been redesigned from the ground up with the company's signature hardware software integration. These are products very characteristic of Nintendo, packed full of our development team's dedication to quality through various creative efforts, he said. In other words, Switch 2 may not revolutionize the console landscape, but it aims to become Nintendo's new standard. Again, like, to me, that's like, who cares? Like, that's not impressive because literally all the other consoles, like, everyone's clapping that Nintendo is doing this, but all they did is now come up to where really the console should have been, like, you know, ages ago or whatever, or however you want to make that argument, if that's coming across, uh, if I'm getting my point across. Question is whether a more expensive, yeah, expensive, backwards compatible, and conservatively forecasted console can reignite the same magic that propelled the original Switch to become one of the best selling systems of all time. With all eyes now on Nintendo's official reveal and launch window, the company is walking a tightrope between satisfying early adopters and maintaining long term mass appeal. Balance may ultimately define the future of the Switch brand. I think it's gonna taper off personally, because all they did was literally now finally all Nintendo did is finally now step up to the plate to where any other console, current console, and a PC game are at in terms technical, technology wise. But yet Nintendo has the balls to, uh the way my voice cracked, apparently I don't have any. Um have to put on this price and then try to weasel out by saying, "Oh, it's the tariff," but it's not because we can, we're fine with getting all the hardware equipment, and, bouncing back and forth. To me, all this is just bouncing back and forth. So it's like we're ultimately going to find out what the answer is when it's released, who buys it, and all that stuff. Speaking of Mario, got the sequel movie title, and it is indeed Super Mario World. The long awaited Mario sequel movie is officially titled Super Mario World, a nod to the classic 90s game of the same name. News of the official title and likely its main plot were leaked via yet another media blast that accidentally listed the name of the Mario sequel movie. Here's the blurb from the NBC media blast. An exciting range of films from Universal Pictures, Focus Features, DreamWorks Animation, and Illumination were presented, including Megan 2.0, Nobody 2, Bad Guys 2, How to Train Your Dragon, Downtown Abbey, the grand finale, Black Phone 2, Him, the Phoenician Scheme, the Phoenician Scheme, Super Mario World, there you go, Shrek, and Minions. Actual detail in the Super Mario movie sequel or scant, though we know it has been in production and is already set for a 2026 premiere. The teaser after the end credits of the first film revealed a very obvious nod to Mario and the gang, going to none other than Dinosaur Land, the region of the Mario universe where Yoshi made its debut. Then, in related news, we've also heard this as well as the live action Legend of Zelda franchise. Apparently, a premiere date set even further in 2027. There you go about that. And just for me, I found this interesting. Fairly Odd Parents creator Butch Hartman launches a faith-based animation studio for kids. So that's pretty cool. So he's the creator of two of Nickelodeon's most famous kid shows, The Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom, is going in a new direction for his next animation venture. He's set to launch Butch Hartman Studios, which will be an independent animation studio with the goal of producing and financing uplifting and original faith based animated projects for both kids and families. The studio bills itself as a full service production studio employing over 40 animation crew members, many of whom have worked on his past shows. Hartman's longtime colleague, Taylor Bradbury, is a senior producer at the company. The studio already has four different projects in development, and Hartman has even secured distribution deals with Angel Studios, which released the animated The King of Kings last month, and BMG Global, which has already released a variety of faith based movies and series. Butch Hartman Studios is privately funded, and all the faith based projects, or excuse me, properties on the initial slate include positive messages and characters. The first project under the new banner expanding the franchise The Garden Cartoon, the first season of the animated series, which was created by Hartman and executively produced by his wife Jillian, is already available via Angel Studios and is available through other streamers via End Circle Entertainment Production. It's underway for season 2. MG Global will release a handful of Garden Cartoon movies timed to Christian holidays. And then the other projects in the works are Little Harps, which is aimed at kids between ages 3 and 8, follows a guardian angel school that prepares new recruits to help kids down on Earth. Next is Dragon Drive Through, aimed 5 through 8. And it follows three little dragons who run a fast food stand in a medieval town. And finally is Family Fusion, aimed between kids of ages 6 and 11. And it follows two super science families try to live next door to each other without destroying the neighborhood.
Our stories and shows are created and curated with families in mind, says Hartman. We're working with some of the best animators in the business, many of whom I've worked with on other shows, to offer an enriching experience suitable for children of all ages. Our mandate is to provide safe environment where kids can be enthralled, excited, and encouraged to set their imagination free. My Christian faith has convinced me that in a world of almost unbearable uncertainty, the importance of fun and empowering kids' entertainment has never been more profound. He was nominated for 4 Primetime Emmys, 3 Daytime Emmys for his work of The Fairly Odd Parents, which ran 10 seasons, beginning in 2001 and through 2000. Really? That's when, man, my dates. I didn't realize, man, it really started in 2001. Wow. Second longest running Nick series behind SpongeBob SquarePants. Some of his other series include Danny Phantom, Tough Puppy, and Bunsen is a Beast, all for Nickelodeon. He and his wife are also the founder. Okay, oh, no. Founders of the Hartman House, a charitable nonprofit organization that benefits needy children and families around the world, as well as the Butch Hartman Art Academy, which provides community and courses for new artists. And Hartman is represented by the Gotham Group and attorney Noel Lar Abbott. That's pretty cool. So I really like that. I didn't know he was faith based. Although I'm a little curious just because, I mean, this is Hollywood we're talking about. It depends on what type of faith. If it's progressive faith, then that's not really Christianity. Fake. Anyway, here you go. Ubisoft stock crashes 18% after earnings miss and Tencent deal fallout. Ubisoft fell sharply on Thursday, dropping more than 18% to 9.55 per share following a fourth quarter earnings report that disappointed investors and triggering a renewed concern about the company's financial direction. Dang, look at that. Ooh. Oh my goodness. First fiscal year ending March 31st of 2025, it reported a net booking of 1.85 billion, marking a 20.5 year over year decline. Company also posted an operating loss of 15.1 million for the year, while Ubisoft pointed to Assassin's Creed Shadows released in March as a contributing factor to the year's results. The overall impact was not enough to reverse the downward trend, so it failed. The company cited lower than expected partnership as a primary reason for the decline in booking. Sure. Oof, says Oni or Loki. Yep. They really don't have much good games ideas other than Assassin's Creed. Oh, you can only milk a dry cow so much. And then understanding the net books, Ubisoft reported 1.85 billion in net bookings, reflecting the total value of products and service sold or committed during the fiscal year, including digital and physical game sales, in-game purchases, subscriptions, and pre-orders. Unlike standard revenue, which is recognized only when a product is delivered or a service is rendered, net bookings are a forward-looking measure of demand and expected income. And the 20.5 decline signals a significant drop in both consumer engagement and Ubisoft's near term revenue pipeline. For investors, weakening bookings are often seen as an early warning sign of future financial strain. And then their outlook of the 2025-26 fiscal year failed to inspire confidence. The publisher said it expects net bookings to remain stable year over year and is aiming to break even on a non IFRS operating income basis. Dang, that is not good. All right, I'm already beginning to lose interest just because we keep talking about money, and I get it already. Oh my goodness. Investors reacted swiftly. Thursday's Ubisoft stock drop brings the company's total decline to nearly 60% over the past 12 months. With its market value now sitting well below key doubt thresholds, followed a string of financial challenges, including internal restructuring, layoffs, and growing pressure from shareholders. and the Tencent subsidiary deal still under fire. So it would so what we read in the past ones is that it would transfer its top franchises, Assassin's Creed, Tencent, that it invested 1.16 billion for a 25% stake, while Ubisoft retained majority control and earning royalties on future sales. They Ubisoft expects the transaction to be finalized by the end of 2025. However, the deal has sparked backlash among minority shareholders. So, as that Park Place previously reported, AJ Investments, along with a coalition of other shareholders, has filed a legal challenge demanding that Ubisoft hold an extraordinary general meeting to vote on the Tencent argument. It proposes two resolutions: restructure the deal as a direct asset sale valued at no less than 4 billion, distribute an extraordinary dividend of 23 per share, equating to 3 billion to investors, while preserving 1 billion for corporate obligations. And then they have their open letter. They argued the deal was structured to bypass mandatory public offer rules and entrenched control by the Gilmot family, who currently holds less than 10% economic interest in the company. Yep. Yep-a-roo. They also pointed to the stock's recent volatile and high volume trading as signs of investor rejection, with Ubisoft's share price having dropped 24% since the deal was announced. Oh, not look good. Between the steep drop in earnings, investor backlash, and the ongoing licensing lawsuit over The Crew, entering the 2025-26 fiscal year under mounting pressure. The core assets already spun into a new subsidiary, and shareholders demanding greater transparency, facing a turbulent year ahead financially, legally, and strategically. Good. Crash and burn. Let the let the circus tent burn and burn hard. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If it happens, I hope it is a major wake up call to these douchebag studios to pull their heads out of their ass and just make good games and stop catering to a bunch of weirdos, terrorists, and remove all of those type of people that are infesting the industry and go back to what I really want you to do. Make good games, and if you remake a game, you don't touch anything. Ba boom. Alrighty. So the biggest talk, the VTuber Kirsche, who had a bunch of hit pieces done by Vice talking about her, and came in hot, owned them because they have took down those hit pieces, li- libeling her as a racist and probably a bunch of other stuff too. Comes from Fandom Pulse. There you go. After having a cancel campaign waged against her by Redditors with ties to a radical leftist Vice journalist or journalist, Kirsche has racked up a massive win by getting Vice to remove the article allegedly libeling her. Earlier this week, VTuber Kirsche was dropped by in-game studios who sponsored her for their game Crime Boss Rocky City after a harassment campaign led by Redditors and a specific person, Anna so and so, who has now took off, who've completely deactivated their account and all that stuff, sent concerned trolls to the company to try to tell them not to associate with her because of alleged quote racism. They also went after her for her sponsors of GG Supplies. I think that's what it's called. Uh, supplement, gaming supplements or whatever. Kirsche didn't take the situation lying down, but instead exposed the company by deleting threads in support of her, showing receipts of how she helped the company and the game grow by not only promoting the game, but by testing and sending feedback off stream. Well, this led to the community of gamers rallying behind the VTuber star to put pressure on the company for their bad actions and for being a bunch of pussies. I added that in there, but it's true. It came out that a lot of this nonsense was stirred up by the fake news outlet Vice, led by a serial activist named, oh, here we go, yeah, Anna Valens, who penned an article, quote, "Why is this gamer subs VTuber pushing the great replacement theory. The article launched into personal attacks on Kirsche while talking about the very real and very true aspect of society where extreme leftists are trying to replace a white population, both in immigration and in culture, to try to support their communist causes. Kirsche, however, was not supporting said theory, though she should, in estimation of Fandom Pulse, since what's being done does pose a danger to our society. I feel like I read that very terrible. Kirsche, quote or comma, however, was not supporting said theory, though she should, in the estimation of Fandom Pulse, since what's being done does pose a danger into our society. There you go. That was read better. That and two other articles about bigotry and racism tying Kirsche to those words were also recently deleted by Vice, which Kirsche announced on X, saying, Vice has removed all three hit pieces on me. I am glad they did the right thing instead of allowing a deranged ideologue to use the platform for the sole purpose of causing harm to people. Then she adds these bullish sports Kita and stealth optional should retract their pieces on me as well in light of this. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm trying to remember. Yeah, and I think all of this was stemmed because I think another article, like I think an article, thought I remember reading an article bashed uh the the retard Anna, who I believe is trans, and he got really ass mad about it. So like he then responded with this. I think is what I read somewhere. Don't quote me on. She also wrote her own letter to Vice titled "Why is Vice's Waypoint Pushing for 2018 Style Cancer Culture for VTubing?" She lists the articles in question, demonstrates the libelous problems with what Vice wrote, and lays out the facts. She posted, anyway, not to be all, quote, you started it, end quote, but you literally started it. There was no controversy. No one apart from a few anonymous internet trolls, Vice quotes article, was butthurt about what I was doing or saying on my stream until you started writing articles calling me a Nazi. Now you're calling me a bully and saying it's time to start a war. Dude, these people always try to act tough. And yet, if the war actually came, they would be the first to fall, lack of better terms, in Minecraft, by the way. And again, Nazi doesn't mean anything anymore because these people have been projecting it onto people that they hate for so long, it means nothing. She then said, this is a 2018 style cancel culture all over again, or is it a VTuber brigade? Anyway, it's getting pretty tired. I think it's supposed to be pretty tiring. But anyway, someone says something you don't agree with, start saying they're controversial, name drop all the brands they work with, play the victim card, or rage tweet at them until their sponsors bail. This is the playbook used over and over again. True. She concluded with an epic takedown of Vice saying, I don't want to go to court over this, but if you keep calling me a Nazi and keep calling for my sponsors to drop me, what else am I supposed to do? Seriously, Vice, is this what you want? You want to be the PC police for VTuber. On your front page right now, you have articles about crazy, horny mud truckers and how cool it is to be a goth in Ukraine right now. But my stream is too controversial. I'm asking nicely. Ooh, please take these articles down and stop pretending there's a controversy where there isn't. Promise if you do, I'll go back to streaming and you can go back to being a bunch of fags. Well, I added that part in, but you can go back to reporting on the Berlin Sex Toy Expo or whatever it is you do now. With this missive, Kirsche posted a video of herself to X taping it to a mock up of Vice's door in a very entertaining way of delivering the message. Oh, is this actually her? Huh. I didn't know she actually did a face reveal. Well, there you go. The gaming community has responded with a huge outcry of support for Kirsche. Yeah, the hashtag I stand with Foxu. The gaming community, through this, who once again has destroyed the extreme leftist narratives that everything that they don't like is racist. There you go. That's what I have for you guys tonight. We are well over the normal
hours I've done, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked it. We used the Direct RTMP plugin for uh for whatever Rumble. I can't think of the word. What was I gonna say? To game facts. This day in gaming. Let's do. Let's end this. This day in gaming history. See what old game facts has to have lined up. Interesting. It was indeed. Alrighty. So today is May 15th. Let's take a look at what games were released today. See if we know anything. Vagrant Story, Road Rash 3 for Genesis. Oh, here you go. New Super Mario Brothers. Oh gosh, the Da Vinci Code. Man, did anyone actually ever play that? DreamWorks Shrek the Third. Oh no. Any Bleach fans? You got Heat the Soul 5 for the PSP. Oh, here you go. Diablo 3. Oh, nice. Max Payne 3. There you go. Dang, 2012. That game was Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. Crosscode. Not bad. The biggest ones definitely being Super Mario Brothers, Diablo 3, and Max Payne 3. Solid games there. Let's check out games that were released tomorrow. SimCity 3000 Unlimited. Oh, here you go. Final Fantasy 11. I think that's 11, right? Yeah. X-Men, the official game. I never played that. Knowingly, when a video game is made based on a movie, it's usually not good. Not good. Oh, not a good selection list for tomorrow. Oh, here you go. Castlevania Anniversary Collection. Yeah, I just got done playing Castlevania Lord of Shadows. I want to play some more. I thought that was really fun. You got your Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Okie doke. That's all I have for you guys tonight. Not happy with the direct RTMP. I mean, it looks like we had a solid, stable connection all this time, but unfortunately, I personally wish I could have done like the clips and stuff, and I'm too used of just doing that, like kind of like how StreamYards is. But that was my own fault because I should have seen that. Let's do some rating. Who is online that we could raid? Alex is online, but and she hasn't been on in a while. But let's help out my boy Comics at Rumble. So we raid over there. Bam. Over on YouTube. Do we have? Ooh, we got Drunk 3PO. All right. I will catch you guys on the. You guys have a good rest of your night. God bless and peace. See ya.